Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best small forwards in NBA 2K22 My Team on a tier list. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 3,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I do upload every single day. I would really appreciate your support if you haven't already, if you do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop, not wasting time, let's hop right into it, and let's check out these small forwards, starting with Allen Houston. And Allen Houston is super mediocre, just not a great card. He was a collector level reward, but just not really anything special. 6'6" with 6'9" wingspan at the small forward position is just decent, mediocre size. Hotspots from most spots, but he's missing a lot of badges. Only 15 gold badges. Does have 19 silvers, but he needs a lot of badges. Like there's a quick first step, clamps, intimidator, ankle braces, pickpockets. Doesn't get limitless spot up at all. That's a tough one to not get. Doesn't get posterizer at all. Needs unstrippable fast twitch. There's a lot of badges he needs. He's not super fast. He's not an elite defender, not an elite slasher. He's a really good shooter. Ray Allen base with clay upper. He's very, very knockdown, but he can't create his own shot. Just not a card who's going to do a lot for you besides catch and shoot. Not having the limitless badge hurts as well. At the small forward position where you want some defense, Allen Houston just doesn't give you a ton on the court. Maybe even a D tier guy, but for now I am going to put him in C tier, although I may adjust him down to D tier at some point. Iggy is, I feel like, very similar to Allen Houston. They're different, obviously, in terms of the way that the type of player they are, but Iggy's just not an elite shooter. An 82 shot 3 is definitely good enough where you can knock it down if you're wide open, especially if you do want to add a badge like catch and shoot and a badge like sniper to him. Defensively, he's solid, not great, only bronze interceptor. Doesn't get quick first step. Slashing wise, he's decent. His jumper's decent. He does have decent speed, decent defensive badges, and stats. Jumper is solid. It's honestly on quick, it does help it as well, and he can slash. He's better than Allen Houston for sure. Honestly, I'm going to put Allen Houston D tier because he's just terrible, especially for the small forward position, whereas this Iggy card I think is manageable. Just still missing a lot of badges, and just doesn't quite have the total badges that you'd like to see, and especially the total gold badges that you'd like to see on a card at this point in the game. But not a bad card, definitely an improvement over a guy like Allen Houston. Now Wiggins is A tier. I think you could make an argument that he's borderline S tier, and actually looking at the small forwards on this list, because the small forward position I don't feel like in terms of primary small forwards is super loaded, he is right in that borderline for S tier. There's a chance I might wind up moving him up to S tier at some point, but Wiggins is an elite card who definitely gets overlooked, I think, at this point with the amount of cards they've dropped recently. 95 offense, 93 defense, hot spots from 3 out of 5 spots, 5 slashing Hall of Fame badges, bunch of good gold badges. He needs limitless, he needs sniper, and that's about it in terms of badges. Definitely maybe intimidator as well. Defensively, he's super solid. 90 lateral quickness, solid interior and block as well, which is nice. Great slasher. 99 driving dunk, which definitely helps him to get blocked less. 93 speed and excel is really good. 86 shoot ball is solid, and he's a knockdown shooter with base 22, release 78 upper. He's got a knockdown jumper, really easy to green, can create just a bit as well with the speed that he has, and he plays super solid defense. A great small forward option. Definitely a guy that I think you can run and have a lot of success with. Anthony Edwards is another, just like he's mediocre in all honesty. Better at shooting guard than at small forward, but the thing is he's only 6'5", so that's a bit undersized for small forward. 6 hops, but they're not crucial ones. I mean, limitless takeoff, posterizer, and unstrippable are solid. Pogo stick and volume shooter, he needs clamps, interceptor, intimidator, menace. Doesn't get pick dodger at all. Does have decent playmaking badges, I guess. Shooting badge wise also decent. Doesn't get limitless. Does need sniper. He needs a lot of badges. He's not super crazy fast. He's a good slasher, but he's not a great defender. Just a mediocre card. A little bit undersized. Jumper is good, but he can't create his own shot at a high level. He's a mediocre card. He's not great. He's not terrible. I think he's C tier, especially because he is undersized. Maybe B tier. You could make an argument that he's maybe a B tier guy. Bernard King on paper is super solid. I mean, he's got good speed. He can shoot. He can dunk. His defense isn't awful. And badge wise, he comes with some solid badges. Clamps can be upgraded. Quick first step already comes in the card. You could add a couple defensive badges to him. Definitely could add like limitless and sniper as well. But if you badge him out, he's decent. Jump shot wise, jump shot 5 is pretty good. Base dribble style, he's not going to create a lot. He's going to just kind of be a cone, but he's a decent-ish card. He's not great. He doesn't do anything at a super high level besides maybe slash. But I mean, with the way that blocks are in this game, super high slashing isn't the most valuable thing in the world. Doesn't have elite size either. He's a mediocre card. He's decent. If you have him for collector level, you can run him, but definitely don't go out of your way to get this Bernard King card. That being said, I think he is a B tier guy. Now, Ingram is probably C tier. I think this Brandon Ingram card, if I remember correctly, is just a terrible defensive card. 6'7" with 7'3" wings, but he's got a solid player build as well. Hotspots from almost everywhere. Shooting wise, finishing wise, he's going to be solid, but he's a very, very mediocre defender, and I don't recommend badging him out, which means he's just not going to come with a lot of defensive ability. Shooting is good though. Base 75 is good. He's not going to be much of a playmaker because he's not super fast and does not have good sigs, but in terms of shooting and slashing, he's going to be solid. Problem is, besides that, he just doesn't give you a ton on the court, although he is still better than a guy like Allen Houston, I would say. Bobby Jones, I'm going to put in D tier. I'm not going to put him in F tier because of how good of a defender he is, but he can't shoot the ball at all. A 30 shot 3, I'm out. I'm just not happening. Playmaking badge-wise, he does come with the key ones he needs besides bailout. I would add that to him if you're going to use the card, especially because it's not super expensive. He's an elite defensive card. Clamps, menace, post lockdown on Hoff, 90 plus on everything on the defensive end, actually 92 plus, and most over 95. Good speed as well, decent slasher. Jumper is good. No, it's actually not. He's got set shot 16. It was good last year, but it's bad this year. So he's got a terrible jumper and can't shoot threes. This card sucks. The inability to shoot is the biggest downfall that a card can have in this game, and he's one of the few cards on this list that simply is not able to shoot the ball. I think he might be the only card on this list that cannot knock down a wide open three-pointer, and for that reason, I mean, I'm being generous not putting him in F tier, I'll be completely honest, but because he is such a good defender, I will still put him in D tier because he does give you some value on the court. Bruce Bowen, I think, is a good 3-and-D guy who's not going to give you anything else besides the ability to shoot threes and play out some defense. Thing is, he does have Hall of Fame clamps and Hall of Fame corner specialists, which are 2 key badges. Gets basically no playmaking badges, no bailout, no bullet passer, no quick first step, which kills the card in that area. No sniper or limitless as well. But the thing is, he does have great defense, really solid defensive stats as well besides the block rating, and catch and shoot wise, he can knock it down. He's a 3-and-D guy who will do literally nothing else for you on the court, but he can go score a 3 and can play some defense. So I think that that does bring just a bit of value, and for that reason, maybe is in that C tier still. Carmelo, I think, is S tier, and I don't know. I think Carmelo is really, really good, especially on next gen, but even on current gen as well. 6'8" is really good size for small forward position, 4 hot spots from the 3-point line. He comes with most every key badge that he needs except for defensive badges, and all of his badges can be upgraded. A lot of y'all already have your Carmelo badged out with things like clamps, intimidator, menace, pick dodger, ankle braces, things of that nature, and everything else he needs he comes with already. Got good speed, great knockdown shooter, good slasher, and he plays defense better than his stats with insinuate. Jumper is really good on both gens. On next gen he can shoot corner threes, on current gen he can't, which hurts the card a bit, but he even play makes at a decent level. He's a great card. I think it's tough. The S tier is just going to be close. There's a couple guys who are like definitively S tier, and then there's a couple guys that are I don't know. It's like, for example, Carmelo and Wiggins. This is almost an opinion. I'm putting Carmelo in S tier and Wiggins in A tier, but you could easily switch these 2 cards around and put Wiggins in S tier and Carmelo in A tier. It's just very, very close at a spot like that. Caron Butler, I'm not sure if he's A or B tier. This card is not bad. He's got a solid jumper. He's got decent size, 6'7", 6'11" wingspan, a little bit of speed, not much though. Defensively, again, mediocre. This needs a lot of badges, which hurts the card for sure. But he can catch and shoot it wide open, pretty high level. Unfortunately, doesn't get limitless, but does have sniper, which is nice. Jumper is really good, like I said. He's not going to be much of a playmaker, especially with being slow and not having SIGs, and he needs a lot of badges, which honestly, I don't recommend badging out a card like this, especially with him being a reward card and not that elite. So honestly, I think he is a B tier guy, just because of the limited defensive and playmaking ability. Still a knockdown shooter and a solid offensive card, though. Chris Mullin is another knockdown shooter who doesn't give you much else. Does have some defensive ability in terms of his stats and badges, like he does come with a little bit of perimeter defense, but honestly, doesn't get interceptor or intimidator or menace or pickpocket. Playmaking badges, you have to add the quick first step badge if you want to use them. I mean, shooting wise, he's great, but that's all he gives you. He's a great shooter who doesn't give you much else on the court. And I think if you're going to be limited to only being able to shoot, that's not anything higher than a B tier card for me. And I think even B tier might be a bit generous. Dale Ellis is he F tier? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so, because he is 6'7" and he's a knockdown shooter with Ray Allen base, a high 3-point rating, doesn't get limitless, which hurts him. No chef as well. Defensively, he's terrible. Playmaking badge wise, doesn't come with much of any ability, but he does have shifty dribble style, so he can move just a bit if he had playmaking badges, but because he doesn't have the playmaking badges, he's obviously not going to be able to go get you a bucket, especially at only 80 speed as well. So not an F tier card because of how good of a shooter he is, but definitely a C tier card, or I'm sorry, a D tier card. Not a good card at this point in the game. Danny Granger was great for a while as the lock-in that was available on day 1 of the game. 96 offense, 86 defense, 4 out of 5 hotspots. Comes with an 86 speed and excel, 80 driving dunk, good shooter. Defense definitely leaves some to be lacking, and at this point, if you have the card, you've either badged him out or you haven't. Not a card I would recommend it using at this point, so I'm not going to look at the badges that you can add to the card. Jumper is good, fundamental dribble style is good. Jumper is actually great. Base 29 is really good with the 78 upper as well. Super, super good. Same jumper as Glenn Robinson, same upper as Wiggins. It is a knockdown jumper, which really does save the card, is how good he is in terms of his jumper and the fundamental dribble style, being better than most of the other dribble styles of cards on this list. So still a B tier guy, not a great card, but definitely a card I think you could probably still use if you have him badged up properly and if you locked him in. you probably did have a good time using that card early in the year. Detlef Schrempf, is he A tier? I feel like if he is A tier, he's on the end of A tier, but this card is relatively recent and he's not a bad card. 6'10 with 7-foot wingspan is great size, 84 speed and excel, 80 steal ball, decent defense, really good shooters, decent slashing as well. Half sniper, half catch, can get, I'm sorry, he comes with limitless already, which is really nice. Needs quick first step and he doesn't get it. That hurts. So he's going to be a cone entirely on offense. Defensively though, he does have clamps on gold, interceptor on gold, pick dodger, chase down artist on gold, can get pickpocket, pogo stick, rim protector. This is a decent card. I think he honestly probably is A tier. Yeah, jump shot 40 is decent. He's not going to go get you a bucket at all without quick first step, and the lack of quick first step definitely makes me struggle a bit to put him at A tier, I think, but I think he can be end of A tier, honestly, because he's going to be a super solid 3-and-D card. Wilkins, this card is pretty bad, this Diamond Wilkins. Now, I will say the Pink Diamond Wilkins is not on this list. He's one of the only, I think he might be the only legitimately good small forward that's not on this list. And I will just say Pink Diamond Wiggins would be right between S tier and A tier. Like, he'd be right on the level of Andrew Wiggins, maybe even an S tier guy. Really, really good card. But this Diamond Wilkins is not that same. Decent speed, mediocre defense, good slashing, I guess. He does have some slashing badges. He needs a lot of badges. Doesn't get defensive badges that he needs. Doesn't get quick first step. Fundamental dribble style is good. His jumper is decent, but he's not like a great shooter. He's missing some badges, although limitless spot up and sniper added to him will help him out as a shooter. The thing is, the lack of playmaking badges, I don't think he's D tier. That's a little disrespectful, but I think he is C tier because he's going to be a bad defender and a bad playmaker. More of a catch and shoot and transition slasher, and that's just not the role that you want Dominique Wilkins to play on your team. Elgin Baylor, I mean, this card is not good. I'll be completely honest. Maybe he's C tier because the guys that I have in D tier are terrible. But 94 offense, 90 defense, only 6'5". He's got great speed, which is nice. Speed of ball isn't great, but shooting wise, he's solid. He can dunk, and his defense isn't terrible. Needs badges though, and you're not going to badge out a card like this. No limitless, no sniper. He does have Brook Lopez base, which is a good jumper, but not going to be able to move in the half court. He's undersized. This card sucks. C tier is pretty fair, I think, for him. Franz Wagner is a defensive turnstile, what I think that's what they're called, but he is 6'9" with 7 wingspan, which is nice. Defensively, he's awful. No defensive badges. Don't badge out a Ruby either. Needs quick first step, but again, don't badge out a Ruby. He's going to catch and shoot on the offensive end good, and that's literally it. He's going to be a catch and shoot guy on offense, and that is all he gives you. Very similar to Dale Ellis. Not a good card at this point in the game. George Gervin, is he... maybe he's C tier. I don't know. He is missing some badges though, and I don't. Again, another one of those guys who's just not a good enough card for me to recommend badging him out at this point in the game. Kind of slow, not a great shooter, not a great defender. Needs badges, doesn't get clamps. I wouldn't recommend badging him with handles, so he has a quick first step, and he doesn't get sniper or limitless. This card is really mediocre. Another D tier guy. There are some bad small forwards on this list. I'm not gonna lie. I've gone through a pretty good amount of these already, and a lot of these cards suck. But Gerald Wallace does not suck. He is an A tier guy, not an elite top of the line small forward at this point in the game, but definitely still a solid card. He's got decent speed, can shoot, can dunk, and can defend at a high level. Hoff, pick dodger, ankle braces, intimidator is super nice. Gold, quick first step, bailout, bullet passer, downhill, and glue hands already on gold, which is super nice. Shooting wise, he does get limitless and sniper. Has the finishing badges as well that he needs. Jump shot is super solid. Jump shot 4 is a good jumper. Moving in the half court isn't great, but he could potentially go get you a bucket. Definitely a super solid card who a lot of people can still run with and have a lot of success with. Glenn Robinson is on the same level as Danny Granger because at this point they're very similar cards. Great jumpers, not going to give you a ton else on the court. Glenn may play a little bit of defense, but unfortunately he needs badges, and unless you have him previously badged, he's just not going to be that great for you, especially because he doesn't get the clamps badge. Sniper is good to add if you have him, but don't badge him at this point. If he's already badged, you can use him, but don't badge him. Doesn't get limitless or clamps, which hurts. Does have quick first step, bailout, bullet passer, glue hands, etc. though, which is nice. And yeah, he's very similar to Danny Granger, honestly. 6 foot, pretty tall small forwards who can catch and shoot at a high level and don't give you a ton else. I think honestly Glenn is probably worse than Granger, so I'm going to put him down in the C tier, but definitely not the worst card in the world. Grant Hill is like the best card in B tier or the worst card in A tier. At this point, I think I'm going to put him in the A tier because he doesn't get limitless. He does get sniper, which is nice. Playmaking badges are solid. Defensive badges are solid as well. Finishing badges are solid. 95 driving dunk. He's got good speed. I lied. This card's not bad. I think he's an A tier guy. Probably one of the worst cards in A tier, but definitely still an A tier card. Solid jumper. Stats wise, he's great. He's not going to create you a bucket, but he can still get a stop, and he's got good size at the small forward position. Gus Gerard, I guess he's C tier. There's a lot of C tier cards, but this card is another one, day one card, but he's super outdated at this point. Just not a ton of total badges. Missing a lot of key badges as well. Like quick first step has to be upgraded. If you haven't badged him, he's not worth using. No limitless, no sniper. decent, mediocre defense, decent speed, not a great slasher. He can shoot wide open because jump shot 17 is really good, and fundamental dribble style is solid, but he's not going to be a creator with only bronze per step and 83 speed. I mean, he's just not going to be that creator guy. I think he is C tier because he's not as bad as the guys in D tier, but definitely still not a great card at all. Hito Turkoglu would be really good if his jumper was solid. Unfortunately, it's plainly not, so he's a B tier guy. Decent speed though. He is 6'11" or 6'10", I should say, which is good for the small forward position, really good. 92 shot 3, Hall of Fame catch and shoot and sniper. Does come with a little spot up on gold as well. Bullet pass from dimer on goal on Hall of Fame is super nice. He does have all the playmaking badges he needs. Doesn't get clamps, which hurts, and the fact of the matter is he's not a great defender, and his jumper is just really mediocre, but he does have shifty dribble style. He moves better than almost any small forward on this list. The problem is the terrible jumper and the lack of defense hurts the card and really brings him down from being that A tier guy to kind of a bottom of B tier type of player. Jamal Wilkes is probably the worst card on this list because he does nothing good. 9 gold badges is terrible. They're mostly finishing badges. Can't barely shoot. Slow. He's got good defensive stats on the perimeter, but defensive badges are mediocre. No playmaking. Set shot. He's got a set shot. This card is terrible. Please don't ever put Jamal Wilkes in your lineup. Jason Tatum, another guy who would be A tier if his jumper wasn't pretty awful. He's got one of the worst jumpers on this list. Very similar to Hito. He is a better defender than Hito, probably not as good of a playmaker than Hito, but does have pretty good, well-rounded badges, which is nice. No limitless spot up on the card hurts a bit, but the set shot is gross. It's just set shots. There are a couple set shots that are decent, but set shot 34, it's just not a good release. It's herky jerky, it's ugly, it's slow, and it really kills Tatum from being an A tier guy to being a B tier guy instead. Not a terrible card besides that release, but the release hurts the card for sure. Jimmy Butler, I will put in B tier. I think there's a significant difference between this Jimmy Butler and the Pink Diamond Jimmy. This one has 90 offense, 94 defense. He's got decent size, 6'7", but 84 speed excel isn't crazy. 81 shot 3 isn't crazy. 80 not driving dunk. I mean, he's decent defensively. He's solid. He comes with the defensive badges, but he needs playmaking badges like quick first step. Doesn't get limitless spot up. Needs a sniper upgraded. He's not bad. Honestly, he might be borderline A tier. Jumper is still really good. Jimmy's jumper is really good, but he's not super fast. He's not going to be much of a playmaker, and he's not going to be the elite defender that the Pink Diamond is. I think he still is borderline A tier. I'll put him A tier. I think he is A tier because of how good his jumper is, and he's still a solid card. He's one of the worst, probably the worst card in A tier, but I still will put him in A tier. Now, S tier, Jimmy Butler. This Jimmy Butler is easily S tier. I mean, there's just no debate about it at all. He's the best small forward in the game, in my opinion. I think you can definitely make an argument for a couple other guys, but Jimmy is my favorite small forward in my team. 92 speed excel, great shooter, solid dunker still, but really, really elite defense. Hall of Fame clamps, hustler, interceptor, ankle braces, ball stripper, menace, pickpocket, difficult shots as well. Good playmaking badges. Doesn't get limitless, but that's the only key badge he doesn't get. And at the 3, standing in the corner, I don't think that's a deal breaker at all. I love this Jimmy card. He's as obvious of an S tier as it gets for me personally. Havlicek, he's only 6'4", but he's not terrible. The thing about Havlicek though is he needs badges, and I don't recommend badging him out just because he's an amethyst. He's not worth badging with badges like Limitless, Chef, Quick First Step. He needs a lot of badges, and that hurts him. He is a decent defender. He's slow though. Catch and shoot wise, he's kind of a 3-and-D guy, but he's only 6'5", not an elite defender, and honestly not the greatest of 3-point shooters ever because he doesn't have without the shooting badges anyway, and kind of undersized. He's not bad. He still is a B tier guy, but not a great card at all. Kelly Tripucka, another one of those guys who I would honestly hope you never use. He's bad. He's slow. Doesn't defend well. Shoots decent wide open, but that's about it. Doesn't get limitless. Don't badge him anyway. Please don't add badges to this card. Jumper is mediocre, not great. He's really bad. I mean, I'm going to put him in F tier. Kelly Tripucka sucks. This card is terrible. KD, I'm going to put both of the KDs in S tier. I think that they're very similar. This KD is better than Moments KD. Doesn't have blinders, but he does have a 88 block instead of a 60 block, which is a pretty significant difference, believe it or not. Everything else is basically the same. He has these extra 3 Hall of Fame badges and doesn't get blinders, which is different than the other KD. But besides that, he basically he's the better KD. They're very similar though. Both of them great cards with good speed, great shooting ability. One of the best playmaking cards in the game was Shifty, LeBron, and the Pro 2 between the legs and the Pro 3 behind the back. Jumper is really good. He's one of the best playmaking small forwards in my team. Badge him out defensively, and he's an elite card. And that goes the exact same for the other KD, the masked KD as well. Larry Keenan is our 3rd F tier card of the game. Of the day. Another guy who really cannot shoot the ball at all, which hurts when you have a 59 three-pointer. That's terrible. No playmaking badges, no shooting badges, very little defensive badges. This card is atrocious. Nothing else really needs to be said. He's terrible. LeBron is probably still B tier. Another card who is missing a ton of badges. That's the biggest thing about LeBron, is he really comes with no badges. I'm going to get a new LeBron in the near future, and it probably will be very soon, like the next couple weeks. He'll probably be a significantly better card, one of the best cards in the game. But this LeBron, only 7 gold badges. A lot of his badges can't be upgraded as well. He doesn't get limitless, a bunch of silver shooting badges. Catch and shoot wide open, he can still green, but jumper's not incredible. No quick first step, missing defensive badges as well. He's just missing a ton of badges, and that hurts the card. He's still B tier because he's LeBron, and he has a great player bottle and still plays better defense than his stats and badges would tell you. And his jumper is still greenable, and he has amazing hard to block dunk animations as well. So still B tier. If it was any other card, it probably wouldn't be, but because it is LeBron and he still is a super solid card, I think he still is a B tier guy. Mikal Bridges is probably A tier, and I think that's a bit high for a Amethyst in general, but Mikal Bridges is a really solid card. Really good jumper, decent, good speed, great defender, catch and shoot at a high level, can dunk the ball as well, great defender, Hall of Fame interceptor, is one of the most valuable defensive badges in the game. He can even play make a bit, jump shot is really solid. Great card. I think he deserves to be A tier. Definitely a super solid option. ML Carr, unfortunately, he's not terrible. You can still knock down shots wide open, but a 75 three-pointer with no shooting badges hurts you just a bit, because you're not going to have that confidence shooting with the ball, shooting with a guy like ML Carr that you would with a guy with an 85 three-pointer and some shooting badges. He will still knock him down wide open, but he's a bit slow. He's not going to be a playmaker offensively. He's not an elite slasher. He's a really good defender, but even that, no Hoff clamps, no Hoff interceptor, no Hoff ankle braces, no Hoff menace. Like, he's missing some of those Hall of Fame badges that you'd like to see for an elite lock at this point. And for me personally, he's not the best of locks, and offensively he really doesn't give you much at all. So for me, that's a C tier card. OG Anunoby, his jumper sucks. Otherwise, he's a solid card. Similar to guys like, I'm actually gonna type in Anunoby because I don't know. Anunoby, here we go. Similar to guys like Hito and Jason Tatum. Really solid card, but just lacking in the jump shot area. No limitless. Does have quick first step. Defensive badges are solid, but no chase down artist, no pogo stick, no rim protector, which kind of sucks. Jumpers is not good. Slasher dribble style is meh. He can shoot, he can dunk, he can defend at a solid level, but the mid jumper, as well as the lack of some other defensive badges, hurts him a bit and prevents me from putting him in the A tier. Paul George is S tier. He is not the best small forward in the game. That honor goes to Jimmy in my personal opinion, but Paul George is still a super good card, and I definitely do think he still deserves to be S tier. You could make an argument he's the second best small forward in my team. I probably would make that argument because of how well-rounded he is. He's a really good defender besides that block rating, really good speed, a great shooter, really not missing very many badges at all, except for maybe some of these defensive badges. Elite slasher as well. Jumper is really good. He's got the fundamental dribble style. The PG dribble style is the same as the fundamental dribble style, and overall can create a bit better than a lot of small forwards as well. So overall, really good card. Definitely high on Paul George. Paul Pierce, not nearly as good of a Paul. Jumper is not nearly as good. He's slower. He's not as good of a creator. Does have quick dribble style, which is nice, so he can create better. But the thing is, with only having 83 speed, it hurts you. He needs badges, and at this point, I don't recommend badging him out. Needs a lot of defensive badges as well as quick first step. Doesn't get chef. And the problem is, jumper's not good either, especially on next gen. It's terrible on next gen. It's decent on current gen, but no bullet passer as well. Bullet passer is a crucial badge that you really need cards to have, and the fact that he doesn't get it at all really does hurt him. And yeah, I think he's definitely a B tier guy. Not a great card whatsoever. Peja Stojakovic is D tier. Card sucks. I mean, I think you could maybe make an argument he's F tier. His jumper is bad. He's slow. He can't defend. He can dunk and shoot wide open, but with a bad jumper and the fact that he's baited as well as slow, he's not going to get that dunk or jumper off very much at all. In all honesty, I'm going to put him F tier because the card is terrible. I'm not even going to waste your time. Purvis Short, is he B or C? I don't really know, in all honesty. I haven't looked at this card much at all, I will admit. 6'7" with 6'9" wingspan, 4 hoffs, which are some finishing hoffs. Good speed, can shoot, can dunk a bit, can defend a bit. Badge-wise, he's missing some stuff, and I don't recommend badging him out, like missing Limitless, missing Sniper, missing Ball Stripper, Intimidator, Menace, Bailout, and can't get it. That's tough. Jump shot wise, Fences Release, which is super solid, I will say. Not a bad card. I think he's probably B tier. He's not great by any means, but actually, with the guys that I'm looking at who are still left on this list, I'm gonna go C tier for Purvis Short. I don't think he's a great card, so I'm gonna definitely go in that C tier for Purvis Short. Richard Jefferson, put Put him right next to Jason Tatum. Two guys who are ruined by their jumpers. If they had better jumpers, they'd be solid cards. Richard Jefferson has pretty good speed actually. 93 speed in Excel and a 6'7" frame is super good. 91 shot 3, 95 driving dunk, well-rounded defense. And badge-wise, not incredible, but definitely not bad at all. Can get limitless. Already comes with sniper. Already comes with quick first step, bullet, bailout, and glue hands. Comes with good defensive badges, great finishing like Hall of Fame posterizer, fast switch, Hall of Fame catch and shoot and corner specialist as well. If he had a good jumper, he'd be much higher on this list. Definitely would be an A-tier guy, but unfortunately, the catapult jumper really hurts the card and prevents me from putting him higher than the top of B tier. Rolando Blackman is 6'6", so that's decent-ish, not great size, a little bit, then decent speed as well. Decent defense, decent slashing, decent shooting. Badge-wise, same thing. Does get limitless and sniper, but I don't probably recommend badging him out, although if you lock in the exchange for Rolando Blackman, you probably got the MT to do it, so it's really up to you. Not a card I'd recommend locking in for whatsoever. He's not going to be worth his price. Definitely needs badges as well. But quick dribble style is really good. That's nice. Set shot. I didn't know he had a set shot. That's tough because Pro 8 between the legs, Pro 2 Pro 5 behind the back, quick dribble style. This card was really starting to grow on me when I saw those 6, but set shot 3 is gross and that really hurts the card. You know what? I'd love to put you higher. I mean, set shot, and I'll put him B tier just because, but no, I won't. I'll put him C tier. He's not worth locking in. Part of it is because of how expensive he is to get and how poor that jumper is. So I'm gonna put him C tier. Might be a bit disrespectful, but you know what? It's my list, so I'm gonna do what I want to do. Sadiq Bey is probably B tier, one of the best rubies in my team still. 84 speed to excel, can shoot the ball, can dunk the ball, can defend, very balanced, can rebound a bit. Badge wise comes more complete than most any ruby. Doesn't get limitless, but he does have sniper already. Playmaking badge wise, he's got the 5 most important gold ones on gold. Defensively, he's super solid. Slashing wise, super solid as well. Really good card. For his price, you're not going to find a better option. Scottie Pippen is C tier, kind of, I'd say, similar to Bruce Bowen in that he doesn't do anything for you except for his ability to play defense and I guess catch and shoot wide open. Jumper isn't great, but it's not terrible. It's just a bit slow. It's that base 30 that he has every year, which isn't a great jumper. He's got great size, though. Defensively, he's solid. Playmaking wise, he's solid. Problem is, he needs shooting badges. Not worth adding badges to the card. Only a 74 3-pointer, so that hurts him a lot, I think. Defensively, he's really good, but really, unfortunately, it doesn't make up for the fact that his offense is definitely going to lack, and for that reason I can't justify putting him any higher than the C tier. Sean Marion is definitely an A tier guy, still a really good card in my team. Yeah, comes with the 92 speed in Excel, 87 shot 3, 90 driving dunk, really elite defensive stats, great elite defensive badges as well, including Hoff Interceptor, Intimidator, Pogo Stick, and Rebound Chaser. Playmaking badges are good. Doesn't get limitless spot, but that's the only key badge he doesn't get. You can add sniper. Yeah, really solid card. He's definitely an A tier guy, not an S tier card by any means in my personal opinion, but definitely a super solid card all the way around. Terrence Davis is a card that I honestly haven't looked at much. Slow, no defense. Can't badge out a card like this because he's a ruby. I wouldn't do it at all, so he's not going to have limitless or quick first step or defensive badges. This card is really bad. 79 speed as well. It's gross. Jump shot 44. I think that's an okay jumper, but it's not great. I don't think. Can't create in the half court. Card is just not good. I'm sorry, D tier. TJ Warren, also D tier. Another card who is just super mediocre. Definitely would not badge him out at this point if you have him. Good size, which is great, but he's missing a lot of shooting badges, missing some playmaking badges like quick first step, but definitely missing a lot of defensive badges. Stat wise, he's beyond mediocre. Everything is in the low to mid 80s. Just not a great card at all. Tobias Harris is still in that, I would say, B tier. He's definitely one of the better cards in B tier as well because he is a great catch and shoot guy and can be a solid defender if you get one badged out as well. I wouldn't badge him out myself, but you can probably find one with some badges on it. No quick first step. He's a cone, but he's a great catch and shoot guy, and if you badge him defensively, he can give you some solid defense even without the great defensive stats. I wouldn't recommend badging him, like I said, and he is slow, but the jumper is elite. Fundamental dribble style is really good, and slashing wise, he's not terrible either. So with some defense, not a terrible card. I think B tier is still a fair place to put Tobias Harris. Tracy McGrady, I'm going S tier. I'm sorry, Carmelo. I love you, but you're going to have to move down to the A tier alongside Andrew Wiggins because I think Tracy McGrady is a better card than Carmelo Anthony all the way around. T-Mac is a great card. The more I see him used, the more I think he's really great, especially at the small forward position because he is 6'8" with 7'2" wingspan. Hot shots are basically everywhere. 6 hops, which include posterizer, blinders, deadeye, and sniper. 90 shot 3, 90 speed excel, and 87 speed of ball, 90 driving dunk. Really solid, well-rounded defensive stats, including a solid block rating, which really helps the card. Defensive badge-wise, definitely needs some badges, but honestly, those are the only badges he needs because he's got all the shooting, playmaking, and finishing ones he needs. So definitely would add clamps, chase downers, interceptor, maybe an ankle braces or a pick dodge or things like that. You add 5 defense badge to this card, he's going to be a really good defensive badge. I'm sorry, defensive card with his great player model and his really good length. Jumper is elite. He's going to be one of the best offensive small forwards in the game as well. Definitely an elite card, and I think he is still an S tier guy. And then finally, you have Vince Carter, who I think is just decent. I mean, he's not great. He's not bad at this point, but he's missing a lot of badges. If you don't buy one that's fully badged out, he's just not going to give you a insane amount. 6'6" is decent, but not great height. Super solid slashing. Obviously, it is Vince. He's going to have great slashing. His jumper is really good. Shooting badges are mediocre, not great, but honestly, catch and shoot, he's still going to be solid. Playmaking, same thing, not great. Defensive badge wise, if you badge him out, he's solid. If you get one fully badged out, he's a solid card. Without the fully badged out, he just has a lot of silver badges, a lot of missing badges as well. So for that reason, I'm not going to put him any higher than B tier, but I do think he is still a solid card. So this is the tier list, in my opinion, of the best small forwards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. I will say, wouldn't use anybody below the B tier. Even some of the guys in B tier I probably wouldn't prefer to use. Definitely would try to go A tier type guys, and definitely S tier type guys as well if you can't afford to do so. And yeah, hopefully this video did help you out. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.